Broadcast. Talk Radio, life, liberty, and the pursuit of fine cigars. With your hosts, Honest Abe and Adam K. the Brewmeister. Listen to the show anywhere in the free world at KMATalkRadio.com.
I like to smoke them like Sir Winston Churchill, like John Kennedy, yeah. Remember Coach Red Auerbach, smoked up for victory, yeah. Well, you can take my wife, you can take my car, but you can't take my big cigar. My cigar.
Loyal listeners, libertarians, lovers of the leaf, welcome to another exciting edition of KMA Talk Radio live on the Bookface thing. I am Adam K. the Brewmeister. Welcome to this lovely, rainy Saturday in Florida. Hopefully it's dry wherever you are across the nation. With me, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, a man who needs very little introduction, Mr. Honest Abe.
Good morning.
And live from New York in his mother-in-law's basement, it's Paul DeGracco!
No.
No, because I'll never get to host Saturday Night Live. There are very few things in life I enjoy. Saturday Night Live is one of them. This is one of those things. Don't take it away from me. They've already taken so much away from me because of this stupid pandemic, okay? Fine.
I'm trying to avoid talking about any interviews anymore. We missed you Thursday night, Paul. Everybody seemed to have gotten a kick of me getting a buzz during the show.
Yeah, I heard you had a couple Bloody Marys.
Huh?
I heard you had a couple Bloody Marys.
Maybe 4.
Huh.
Maybe 4. No, I got buzzed. I didn't get like stupid wasted. They're saying they can't hear you, Paul. I don't know. I can't tell. I don't have sound for the
Not
show.
to mention there's a delay.
Well,
I'm just going to say, once again, I'm still waiting for your recipe for sauce, Paul, because you keep saying sauce takes an all-day thing, and I want to get the recipe for this.
that sounds like a subtle invitation. Like he's looking for a request to be invited, Paul.
I just want the recipe, okay? Listen, I like making new things. I like trying new things. I made a Korean pork street tacos last week.
I think I can resume the broadcast. I think we're resumed. Yeah, we are. We're on the same feed, everything.
So,
Adam, there we
apparently
go.
we're back now. Thanks to Paul's wonderful work of doing stuff with computers and technology.
Yeah, we're back on.
Yeah, definitely back on. So, yeah, live from his mother's basement. Hopefully everybody can hear Paul DeGracco now.
My mother-in-law's basement. My mom doesn't have a
Sorry, yes,
basement.
mother-in-law's basement, yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, with me, Mr. Honest Abe, enjoying a 702 Davidoff this morning.
Yes, it's one of my go-to cigars. Actually, I want to talk about the event we had Thursday night. We did our first virtual cigar event.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty good. I mean, it was a neat concept, and we did it in a way where it was kind of cool because there were packages that were made just for the event that went live during the event. So it was kind of like a store event, not just a Zoom chat. But we had a good 2.5 hours. Coop was on. It was great. We had a good, I think it was a little over 2.5 hours with Steve on Thursday night. But we'll be looking to do that again. It was a lot of fun.
And you sold out of what is it, Pulpettas? Is that the name of it?
Well, no. We actually, we need, it's funny because when we're trying to figure out, he only wants the Pulpettas given out in deals, so you can't sell them and whatever. So, when he wanted to send us the Pulpettas, I'm like, you guys send me like triple that. And he said he sent me triple that. And I said, look, I promise if we don't go through them, I'll send them back. And he had to ship us over double that original amount.
Wow.
Yesterday, so we can fulfill the orders. Yeah. No, it was a really good event. In fact, we got a big one coming up July 30th, which I was actually up all night because doing Steve's event was a learning curve and how we kind of put the packages together. I did it. I finished the whole job. I stayed up through the night. I got in one of my work grooves, and we got all the packages left. But we're having on July 30th the national launch of the new Dogma Sungrown, which I gotta admit, that might be my favorite cigar from Drew Estate.
You've had it already?
Yes, I have.
Lucky.
If you were on the book face, you'd know.
Once again, yep. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I posted pictures of it.
Another reason.
They gave us a couple extra. I gave them to the staff that were worthy.
Ooh,
yeah, burn. Mm.
We don't actually.
Adam doesn't get one.
I'm not a hardcore sun-grown guy. I mean, I like it, but it's not a rapper I chase down. And I was such a big fan of the Dogma. I was like, all right, the box looks cool, the packaging looks cool, but I wasn't all pumped up. But this cigar ended up being awesome. So yeah, well, we're gonna have a big release. Jonathan Drew's coming on, all the team from Drew Estate.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it'll be Thursday, July 30th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I really concocted some pretty cool packages. And we're raffling off some wild stuff. We got a Drew Estate barbecue grill. We got a boom box. We got this red katana everybody's going nuts for. The samurai sword. It's pretty cool.
Actual samurai sword?
Oh, yeah. I'll have somebody I'll have somebody bring it. It's awesome.
Is it under lock and key right now so Adam doesn't get his hold on it?
Why is it me that would get a hold on it? Why would I ever touch a sword?
No offense, but I wouldn't have any weapons out in the open while you're around.
In the showcase?
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks. Oh, yeah. I thought I was on mute.
Nope.
No.
That's okay.
Yeah, I thought I had put it on mute while I told him, but no, it's in the showcase, man. We're not leaving that thing out there. Someone will grab that and run right out the door.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, hell yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. And I tell you what, I mean, I never really thought these virtual cigar events is a selling event, right? I mean, how do you sell something when you're not touching it or you're not there?
Right.
It was successful. So I think that's going to be for the par for the rest of at least 2020.
And there were some cool packages too. I mean, there were some packages that included unicorns, right? That you had.
We made the packages. Well, that was the hardest part. See, we had a new e-marketing guy that we kind of wanted him to do it, and he really didn't do it. Then I made the horrendous mistake of trying to have Adam clean up his mess, and that didn't work out. So then we ended up staying here, me and my operations guy, till about 11 p.m. one night, cleaned it all up, and we learned a few things. Listen, I will say there was 24 packages, and only one didn't sell at all. Which is
really?
Yeah. Only one didn't sell at all. Thank you.
Was it the really big one?
No, it was one of the middle ones.
Oh, really?
One of the 15 packs. No, the big one was gone.
The two top ones had a lot of stuff in it. There was a really great value for them. I was looking at them the other day.
I mean, look, the biggest package had a free unicorn, which, is his $100 cigar.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna smoke $100 cigar, that's how to do it. When you get it for free. Look at this thing. Hang on, you can take it back.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Do you see this? And this is not like a flimsy replica. This is like,
wow.
This is a real, and it comes with an awesome Dojo Drew Estate stand, and it's got some real intricate stuff. It's got, I don't know if I can get this on camera.
Yeah, we can see it.
The logo embedded in this casing. But yeah, this is
wow. Master Sensei doesn't mess around, dude.
Yeah, kind of. What do you think?
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good pose right there.
Thank you, brother.
Okay.
It's heavy. It's heavy too. It's a real heavy. It's not like a flimsy replica. It's a Hanzo sword.
Made in Japan.
There we go.
Adam,
that's Kill Bill.
thank you very much.
Oh.
It's a Hanzo.
Paul thought it was like a real brand name.
No, I've seen Kill Bill, and I'll tell you what, it was one of my least favorite of his.
Don't
I really don't.
The name of Quentin Tarantino. No besmirching the name of Quentin Tarantino.
If I had
you say that's your least favorite of his?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so let me ask him: do you consider Dusk Till Dawn a Tarantino or a Rodriguez movie?
Ooh.
I don't think I saw that one.
You never saw Dusk Till Dawn?
No.
Are you kidding me?
You're unworthy of being on this show. Honestly. Go find a Broadway. Go find a Broadway. Seriously.
Harvey Keitel. Sorry, Jesus.
There's a big difference between Harvey Keitel and Harvey Weinstein.
Very much so. I apologize. Sorry, I was getting a little here.
But that might be my least favorite. But I don't know if you can really say it's a Tarantino because they each directed half.
Do you think that Kill Bill is that great of a movie, Abe?
I wouldn't say it was my least favorite, but yeah, Kill Bill is a really enjoyable movie. What did you not like about it?
Yeah,
I don't know. It was a really long time ago that I saw it when it came out. I saw it in the theaters, and I remember walking out. I'm like, I want my $14 back. I'll watch it I would have rather watch it at home. Maybe I would have appreciated it more.
Well, because I know why. Because you're one of those instant gratification weirdos. It was because it was to be continued.
Well, that was one of my biggest issues.
Yeah. That soured it for you.
Oh, I walked out going with to be continued. Like, how long do I have to wait? Please.
No, I don't like to be continued in theaters.
Mm-hmm. No way.
That's never. I'm never.
Or it's like at the end of a season of a TV show where they don't give you any kind of closure. And then they make you wait a year to see the next damn show.
Peaky fucking Blinders.
Yeah, exactly. And then it was going to be 15 months before they came out with the next one, right?
15 months. It was 23 months between the last season and the season before.
That's awesome.
And what really upset me is Peaky Blinders, which I'm a huge fan of up until this last season. Anybody who's watching Peaky Blinders or haven't seen it yet, stop at season 4. Just trust me. Uncle Abe, Honest Abe here is doing you the favor, telling you. I know you're going to be tempted. I know when season 4 is over, let me just watch that first episode. No. Stop at season 4. It's got perfect closure. Everything is nice. It's got a nice setting with a glimpse of what may be on the horizon in the future. And then season 5, it dead stops in the middle of turmoil. So
do you think that season 4 was a potential end for them? They didn't have a deal yet, so they made sure there was some kind of closure. The way really, but no, because I'm going to tell you why, Paul. Every season ended like that. Oh, okay.
1 through 4 ended with a resolution of the current turmoil with maybe a glimpse of something in the future.
Right.
Which is the way it should end if you're going to take over a year and a half in between episodes.
Yeah.
But,
that's just the HBO way.
Yeah.
But that's also why they left The Sopranos the way they left it, I think.
Don't get into that.
That's for an argument.
But what are you currently watching, Abe, that's on your hot list of things you're currently watching?
Ooh.
Well, I just got suckered. And I don't know if COVID had something to do with whatever, but I just like watched like in 1 week all 5 seasons of Billions.
Well,
Okay.
I heard that was really good. That's on my to watch list.
It's really good, but then again, the season didn't end. They just like there was 12 episodes every season, and then after season 7, it says Billions will be back, and that was it. So I think maybe COVID interrupted. I don't know what happened, but they just stopped at 7, and not like next season. It just like in the middle of what was going on. It was weird.
I
didn't read up on why they did that, but I'm sure it was something weird.
I'm rewatching Parks and Rec, and I keep thinking of Adam every night when I watch an episode.
Nice.
I know that's one of his favorite shows ever.
Nice.
He always wears his little Sebastian shirt.
What are you watching? The Disney Channel?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I'm rewatching Parks and Rec right now, but like sporadically. The only time I have to watch TV now is at like 10:30 when the kids are both in bed, my wife goes to bed, and unless
That's
we're watching
Disney Channel, because I remember that age when the Disney Channel is like on 24/7.
Well, now everything's streaming, so we very rarely put on regular TV for the kids. So we either watch Blippi on YouTube or Disney Plus or Coco Melon on Netflix. I mean, there's all these horrific children's shows. But you're so lucky you didn't have to deal with Blippi, by the way. Blippi's this guy that's kind of like the modern day Pee Wee Herman, but not as fun.
Listen, we all had weird shows, no matter when you have kids. What was that show that took off? I mean, it was like the hottest show, and it was basically like everybody looked like they were tripping on acid. The guy wore an orange jumpsuit. My wife would know this right off the top of my head. Oh,
Gabba Gabba Hey. No?
What was it?
I'm just thinking of children's shows. Gabba Gabba Hey. Go Gabba Gabba, something like that?
Go Gabba Gabba. I think it was Go Gabba
Something like
Gabba,
that.
yeah. And they would have guest stars, like Jack Black would be on the show.
Whoa, they're doing this Sesame Street model.
Oh, let me tell you something. Yo Gabba Gabba episode with Jack Black is like one of my favorites.
Wow.
But yeah, it's like this dude in like orange spandex would come on, and he'd have all these little figurines in front of him, and then he'd interact with them, and it would like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Like I think it was Yo. How did you know Yo Gabba Gabba?
I don't know. I had cousins that were into that one when they were younger. But man, children's TV, it's weird because a lot of it's on YouTube, and this guy,
Yo Gabba Gabba.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the dude. They got it.
Yeah, that's it. I remember.
What's with the hat?
That's what he wore.
Yeah, he was a colorful fellow. It was a weird show too, though. The characters and the puppets and
dude,
the
they're
costumes,
all weird shows.
strange.
They're all weird as heck, man. And then you start getting used to the weirdness.
Yep.
Have you gotten to that point, like where your kids' shows are just
like sometimes Axel will walk
and then
out.
You start getting into it.
Yeah, sometimes Axel will walk out and Blippi will be on. I remember we were at my father-in-law's house on our way up to New York when we were driving, and Axel walked outside with the dogs, and I was sitting in the living room with the sound system on, blasting Blippi. My father-in-law walks in with a cup of coffee. He goes, "What the hell are you doing? What is this?" I'm like, "Oh, sorry. He was just about to show us how an ice cream truck works. I just got suckered into it." He's like,
Blippi, Barney, the Canadians. Who are the Canadian guys called again?
The Canadian guys. I know the Australian.
Dude.
That's Australian.
Were the Australian? All right.
The Wiggles.
Wiggles.
Now there's a new group. There's one original Wiggle. We saw them in concert. His name's Anthony. And then the rest are new people. And one of them is a girl that's pretty hot. She's a redheaded girl named Emma.
So is
Adam,
she a Wiggette?
like no, they still call her a Wiggle. Emma Wiggle, her name is. She was married to one of the others. She was married to the Purple Wiggle. Then they got divorced, and they still have to tour together and do the show together. It's a little awkward. Yeah,
that is a little awkward.
Wow.
To give you an idea of her hotness, she is a ballerina by trade. She was a professionally trained ballerina.
Now you're going to have me Google Emma Wiggle.
Yeah, look her up, man. She's hot. We got to see her in person. She was like 5 feet away from me. My Axel's like looking at me like, "Calm down, Dad." I was like, "Emma."
So here's a good question. I can't read the comments because I'm on the phone, but I typed in Emma. Guess who's the first Emma that came up in
Emma
the
Watson.
auto? Very good, Paul.
Yeah, she's the most popular Emma right now.
Emma Wiggle. I don't know. There's Emma Wiggle net worth. I'm almost
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's worth about $10 million, I think.
What?
She's cute.
Now, for that show, that's the highlight of that show. I'm telling you.
She's cute, Paul. Cute. She's not. I mean.
I'll put a picture of her up.
I got a picture of her. She's cute.
No, but I'll put it up for the audience to see, so they know. I'm sure not all of our audience knows who the Wiggle, or is familiar with the Wiggles.
Wiggle.
Oh, there you go. That's a bad picture of her.
That's what everybody says when you show a picture. Is that not what everybody says?
That's a bad picture of her.
It's not a bad picture.
No, you got to see her with the wig on. She wears a wig.
There's a wig?
With a wig on.
Get her in her outfit. There you go. That's my girl.
Yeah, okay. All right. Let's get on to our Meet Your Maker segment.
Anyway, this week, KMA Talk Radio is pleased to welcome for the first time ever Senior Brand Ambassador for Davidoff of Geneva, Mr. Klaas Kelner. Klaas, welcome, buddy. Welcome to KMA Talk Radio.
Thank you for having me, guys. It's a pleasure to be on.
And hopefully we won't keep talking about children's television programming while you're on.
Oh, I've been laughing back here. Thank God I had my mic on mute.
Do you have young kids, Klaas?
No, not yet. But there's actually I haven't really announced it yet too much, but there's one coming.
No!
Yeah. I didn't know I was gonna talk about it so soon into the show, but
see that?
Congratulations,
I literally
man.
was seeing my future as you guys were talking about.
We were vibing you. We were vibing it. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I think so.
Vibing it.
Do you mind me asking how old you are?
I'm 29.
Okay, so you're a young guy. I'll tell you what. The one thing I'll say, I'm 36. I'm 37. The one thing I'll say is I understand why it would have been better to have children younger. So you're in a good position because now I'm starting to get closer to 40 and my back hurts all the time and I'm always on the floor with them. You'll be in good shape since you're a younger guy.
Yeah, my wife and I are very, very excited, and also my whole family. So
is this going to be your dad's first grandchild?
No, number 8. So,
oh my gosh!
New addition to the Kelner family. So, but number 8. But for my mother is the first one. So my mother is very, very excited.
Oh, nice.
If I'm correct, is that your dad over your left shoulder?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep, there he is.
That's him.
Always watching you.
Do you have a date?
December.
Oh, congratulations.
So I gotta say, it wasn't a quarantine baby. It was right before. So
Sure it was. Sure it was.
That's fine. We had a child. We had a child in the heat of quarantine. That was really fun. Hopefully things will be fine by then for you, so you don't have to deal with all the weird precautions, and they don't let you leave the hospital room at all. So hopefully by then things will clear up a little bit.
Yeah, hopefully everything will be good. But again, we're very, very excited. So
that's awesome news, man. Congratulations.
Oh, so you and I will talk about Blippi in the future then. You'll be watching Blippi. I promise you.
By the time he starts watching TV, he'll be Skippy or Dippy. I mean, they change every 2-3 years.
Paul will give you his favorite episodes on YouTube so you can get them bookmarked right away.
I need a whole guide on how to be a father.
Good luck.
Just do what Paul did. Go to Daddy Daycare. What was it called?
Oh, here we go. I bet you that Klaas is going to one of those. Klaas,
I'll bet your wife money he's not.
Has your wife mentioned to you to do a Daddy Day camp?
You're just gonna embarrass yourself.
I bet you he's gonna go.
Paul is insistent this is a common thing men do.
It is.
Are you gonna go? Are you gonna go to? Family. Right? Tell them they're men. They're men, exactly. Dude. They're not going to a daddy daycare to learn how to change a diaper. Wait. You know what's even worse, Klaas?
Yeah.
He paid for it. Look, he almost choked on his cigar.
It wasn't expensive.
He paid so someone could teach him how to be an adequate dad.
That's why I have my family. I mean, we're a huge family. I mean,
amen.
We learn on the go. I mean, I got my brothers and my sisters, all my uncles. Big family support, you know.
Do you plan on changing diapers?
Yeah.
Have you ever changed a diaper before?
Are you really trying to debate this?
I'm just asking.
I mean,
I had never even
does it
held
really
a
need
child.
a manual, Paul?
I had never held a child under 1 year old ever in my life.
Paul, does it really need a manual? It's got pull tabs and stickums, and if you don't know where the legs go, maybe you should have reevaluated fatherhood. I'm just saying.
I'm an uncle 7 times already.
Tell him. All right. So he has experience.
Tell him.
So, and I'm the godfather of a beautiful girl, and I mean, there's enough.
So he has experience. I had no child experience, except for me. I was the youngest.
It's a diaper. What do you think, NASA? You need a NASA education to put it on?
I don't know. I didn't know. I wanted to know how to do it the right way.
Aeronautical space technology is a diaper. It's got 2 peeled sticks and you're done.
Well, so congratulations. That's pretty exciting news.
That's incredible news.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I had the KMA soundbite that you heard it first on KMA.
I think, this was the first time I actually announced it.
Oh, really? See, KMA, we always get the news.
I hope you were allowed to.
William Cooper, we outscooped you.
Yep. We outscooped the coop. All right.
Yeah, we got to tell him later.
So, Klaas, on other news, how are things going, man? I know you've been doing a lot of virtual Instagram stuff, a lot of stuff out there, just promoting the brands and everything. I mean, how has all that been going for you?
Well, I can say that I'm probably working more than before quarantine started.
Wow.
We really were one of the first people to jump on the boat as a company on the, Instagram, do live shows. And when all this started about mid-March, late March, till actually about last week, we did the math. I had just done over 100 virtual events since, March. Wow. Yeah, and sometimes I was doing them twice in a day. I think one day I did 3 in one day, and not just focused on the United States. I was also doing events for Europe, different countries in Europe, the UK, Spain, Italy, Latin America, Brazil, Argentina. So I've been all over the globe through the computer. Very exciting.
Now, Klaas, where was your childhood? Was it in the DR?
Born and raised in the Dominican Republic, yeah.
So as early as you can remember, was your dad, in the farm life?
Yes, and not only was my dad into the farm life, from my father's side, I'm 3rd generation in the tobacco world, but also on my mother's side, we were farmers. So my grandfather on my mother's side did rice, cattle, coffee. So my family has a big background on farming.
And do you remember going out in the fields and tobacco growing up early on? Oh
yeah. There's a lot of memories, especially as a family. We would go, and when the crop was it's like prime, we would go and take all the family pictures of every single crop, and we have pictures of every single year, and you can see how well every year the crops were doing. But I have a very specific memory. I was probably like 5 years old or 6 years old, and and there's a picture of it, but I have the very vivid memory. I didn't even know they were taking a picture, and I'm just squatting down with my father. My father's just pointing out where the next leaf is going to be coming out of the plant, and he's explaining what leaf that's going to be and where the plant is going to be, and just going all scientific on me already at a very young age, and just a lot of good memories doing that. And then afterwards going over to my grandfather's house and riding horses, swimming in the river. So it was not just go visit the farm, but it was also the whole lifestyle around being in the farm life as well.
So because as somebody who grew up working with his dad as well, right? My dad was a journeyman butcher. So like there was never that passionate moment of looking at cutting up cattle and saying, oh, this is all, I mean, I liked eating it. That was about it. Right. But, did you develop, do you remember as a child growing up, were you developing a fondness, or was it something that was just on the fringe and it was what your dad did?
It was very early on that I knew I wanted to work in tobacco, and I didn't know what route to take, but it really was, I think, at the age of 15 that I started telling my father that, yes, this is what I want to do. So I have very vivid memories of me telling my father on my birthday at the age of 15. In Dominican Republic, they have quinceañeras. So for the girls, they celebrate the 15. And I'm a guy, but I was feeling left out. And I was like, I'm going to have a good conversation with my dad. And that was one of the conversations, like what I wanted to do in life. But I always had a nice affinity for specifically farming and just the farming life. They never took me to see cattle being slaughtered. What they did take me to was seeing the cattle giving birth to the little calves, and we had a number of heads of cattle, and whenever there was like a newborn being born, that was always very nice, and you see them grow, so that was always very nice.
Now, were you envisioning as an early adult now that this was going to be a career for you, or did you have plans on doing something else in early adulthood?
Let's put it this way. For career day, going to school, I would always show up with a Panama hat and cigars in my pocket.
No, really?
In a Christian school, that every time they saw me with cigars in my pockets, like, hide that. And, and they're like, you shouldn't be like promoting tobacco and everything. And I was like, I don't care. This is what I want to be. And one year I dressed up as a soccer player. You always go through that phase, Wow. But every other year I was dressing up as a tobacco guy, or I always thought like an industrial engineer kind of mentality, running factories kind of thing.
What did you go to school for in college?
Business administration, a minor in marketing, and a minor in entrepreneurship.
Now, interesting. Mm-hmm. You didn't take anything agricultural?
No.
You knew it already.
Well, yeah, I guess you could say. Mm. But did you like already feel like I wanted to be more on the business side of the industry and not, on the farms and agriculturally?
Well, I think they go hand in hand. When I sat down with my father at the age of 17, I remember he wrote out a plan for me. And he said that if you want to, be great in the industry, if you want to develop yourself in the industry and make it somewhere someday, you have to not only just work in the factory, not only in the farm, but you have to really understand the whole scope of the industry. The finances, the marketing, the sales. So he told me, it's like, you have to go and spend some years out in the market so that you understand what people like, you understand how people react, how consumers are in the stores, how the retailers are. So you could say in my life right now, that's where I am.
That's awesome. So what is before COVID? What would be a day in your life? I mean, like, what is the brand? I mean, are you just strictly doing events and stuff as a brand ambassador, or is there some back end responsibilities that you're also doing?
Well, technically, my real title is, I say brand ambassador because that way everybody understands it, but really my real title on my business card is senior manager of brand activation. So Davidoff brand activations. Yeah. So not only am I doing events, but I'm also facilitating trainings, whether for staffs in stores, so whether in store or also virtual. And we also have a great program in Davidoff called Davidoff Academy, where from just on your computer, it's just a whole course where all the staff can get trained, and it covers everything from tobacco knowledge, cigar portfolio, sales training, marketing training. So it is a great.
Our staff did that program.
Really?
It wasn't a joke either.
No, we've developed a lot of time on it, and it's not only in English. I mean, we have it in Spanish and Italian and French and German. We have it it's a global initiative so that the whole world gets trained. And on top of that, I also assist the marketing team whenever we're talking about tobacco knowledge, cigar knowledge, tasting notes in different initiatives, just making sure that the marketing team globally and also domestically, United States, talks the tobacco talk. So I'm one of those people in the marketing team that's making sure that we are in line with what we should be saying in regards to tobacco.
So when you talk about how your dad mentioned to you that if this is what you really want to do, you need to learn all facets. I've heard you say in interviews before that you actually had to do that, right? You took almost 2 years to kind of tell us about that experience, because you kind of did, or at least witnessed every job in the company, right?
Yeah, in the factory, in the farms, you could call it an internship. And before it was officially an internship with pay at a really minimum salary pay in the Dominican Republic. You know, they got to put you through work first. You can't just start at the top. I remember, I was even mopping the floors in some places in the factory. I was every part of the factory. I was doing something, but they put me through a program where I spent at least 1 month in every department in the factory, in the farming, fermentation, greenhouses, in the warehouses during aging, just moving bales, sorting tobacco, receiving tobacco from the farms, sorting binder, sorting wrapper, making cigars. And it took me over a year to do all of that. In a year and a half, I covered all of that. And then they sent me 3 months initially to the United States. And after spending those 3 months in the U.S., they're like, we need you here. So they offered me a job as a junior brand ambassador back then, about 5-6 years ago. And I've slowly gone up, you could say.
And in that time, if I'm not mistaken, we had a dinner together with you and Tom and Carlos at a steakhouse in the area. Yes.
That was my 3 months in the United States before I got my job as junior brand ambassador. You could say that my event with you was one of the first events I ever had in market, officially working for Davidoff.
Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Another milestone in the life of Adam Cucci.
Was there any part of that experience that surprised you, or that you didn't know? Like was there anything in that experience that you can say, I didn't even know this went on?
I think what was one of the things that made me the happiest, and it surprised me in a really good way, was the ability of the ladies in the factory to multitask and have fun while they work with such precision.
Right.
It really opened up my eyes to how skilled they are, that they can sort tobacco and at the same time be talking with the lady sitting next to them about the newest gossip in town, and just have a blast and just enjoy their work while they are there doing very precision work where it has to be perfect. And I'm beside them, I'm working for 2-3 weeks, and I can't even look up to them to smile at their jokes because I'm trying to focus on the tobacco, and they're still beating me and doing a better job and doing faster. So it's impressive how much respect you gain for all the little jobs in the company, and that's really where you take the most out of. And at that moment, you're not just the son of Henky Kelner that walks through the factory, but they know backstories of you. You tell them you do know the backstories of them, and it almost becomes like a family. So I really appreciated that moment in the factory.
So in those early years of trying to learn everything, what's the one job you never want to do again?
That's
a great question, actually.
There's one job that for binder, there's one specific tobacco for one specific blend that for binder, for the filler, we cut a piece of tobacco. So we don't put a whole leaf, we don't put half a leaf, we put a rectangle. That's exactly the measurement and the weight of tobacco that goes in that blend. And there's 3 to 4 ladies, depending on how much we have to produce, that every day, all they do is cut tobacco leaves into little squares with this, this huge guillotine for paper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And after 3 days doing that, I spent 5 days just sitting next to them, just literally doing this all day. My arm was about to fall off, and there's no way I would like to sit there ever again. but again, it's like that's a job in the company.
Right.
There's 3 girls every single day, literally just cutting tobacco to a specific size and weight so that it goes in a blend. So it's precision on the flavor profile of that cigar.
And that little job is so important.
Yeah, if you want to make sure the blend is consistent, because the problem is that tobacco is so powerful that if you put a little too much, it is noticeable in the blend. So you have to make sure that the right measurement is put into the right measurement and weight is put into the cigar.
You probably also don't want to get into an arm wrestling contest with those girls.
No.
I have a question from one of our listeners. They'd like to know, and this is from Michael Caldwell, who I believe is out in California. He'd like to know, what's your favorite cigar in the line and which Vitola?
That's the hardest question.
Okay, so I get it's hard. So you know how I define it? Which is the one you smoke the most?
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Davidoff Yamasa Robusto.
Which one?
Davidoff Yamasa Robusto.
The Yamasa, okay.
Yeah, that's the one I enjoy the most. And when I have less time, I really go for the Petit Churchill. I love it in that small ring gauge. I'm a fan of smaller ring gauges and long cigars, like those Corona, Lancero, Lonsdale sizes. Yep. Me too. I mean, the one I'm enjoying right now is a Davidoff 2000 702.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. I love those smaller ring gauges. I think
I got the number 2 in the same blend. I like this blend. What is it that's so? What is it? It's such a distinct taste, and I can't put my thing on it. It's not that it's spicy, but it's hearty. I recognize it, but I can't put my.
What I love about the 702 line is that we're taking all of our classic cigars, the top sellers from the core, the white label. So you got your number 2, your 2000. In Europe, you got Grand Cru, not in the United States. You got Special R, several others. But all these blends are actually 100% Dominican inside. And they are the blends that we've had since the 90s, the blends that have always been around and have always passed the test of time. And they have always had the Connecticut Ecuadorian wrapper. And the Connecticut Ecuadorian wrapper is very light, very subtle in taste, a little bit woody in the back, a little cedar woody in the back, but it doesn't add a lot to the flavor. So really, when you're tasting those core blend cigars, all you're tasting is really what's inside. 95% of everything you're tasting is what's inside. When you change that wrapper and you add an Habano 702 series, which is 702 is a hybrid that we created. The 702 is a hybrid of 3 types of tobacco, 2 Habanos and a Pelo de Oro. And Pelo de Oro is very sweet. So you get that, of course, you get a little bit more body and you get a little bit more sweetness and a little bit of more spice. And it just creates this.
That's exactly what I do when I smoke. It's that little bit. It's not. I wouldn't say it's a spicy cigar.
No. It's like a salty, savory.
Yeah, I taste a little bit of spice. So yeah, that's on point.
So it gives a lot of flavor towards the front, and it makes you want to keep puffing at it. It makes you want to keep going back to it. In Spanish, we say seguidilla. I don't think that word exists in English, and it just makes you want to come back and puff it again. And what's really cool is that you are enjoying the Davidoff number 2, and I'm enjoying the Davidoff 2000. My favorite 702s are those 2. And it's because the blend is originally so soft and so creamy that you can really taste the wrapper. When you are tasting the 702 wrapper on a Special R or any number 3, which are much more powerful blends, you don't see the difference as much and you can't taste the wrapper as much. So the 702 shines in the
when I can't find the number 2, the 2000 is the one I grab. Mm-hmm. That's because sometimes we run out. Just to show you something, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's got something in the special humidor.
You think I like him?
Wow. So now we know why you run out.
I got to make sure we don't run out.
That's so he doesn't run out.
Abe, your wife smokes those too, right?
Oh, wait, he's not on yet.
Abe, your wife smokes those too, right? I think I've seen Brandy smoke those.
I got her into them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now she wants unicorns. Yeah.
Oh, really?
She made me bring her one home the other night. She popped on and she's like, "What's this unicorn? You better bring me home a unicorn." That show cost me $100.
When I was dating my wife, back boyfriend, girlfriend, when she had the Davidoff Late Hour and then the Yamasa, and she liked them both. I was like, oh yeah, it's you.
You got a winner.
No questions asked. It's like you're not going for like the number 2, the 2000 delivery. You went straight for the big boys, the big flavorful ones. That's it. Sign the contract now.
Now, did she smoke cigars before you met her?
Not as often.
Okay.
So it's interesting because I didn't marry into a cigar family, but I married into a tobacco family. So her father worked in tobacco, and her father worked in tobacco in Dominican Republic at the beginning, then in the Philippines, then in Indonesia. Now they're back in Dominican Republic.
Like an arranged marriage?
No.
Or like how the monarchs used to get married, and it's for alliances.
Well, our parents knew each other back in the 90s, but I didn't know. I had no idea when I met her. It just so happened to be.
I have friends whose wives that don't just not like cigars. They can't stand them. And it's really problematic at times.
Yeah.
I mean, guys like you and me, where our wives not only like smoke them, they like them, they enjoy them, makes life so much easier.
Yes.
It really does.
My wife has started to get into them since I've been producing the show. I mean, I've been into cigars for a while, but I'll tell you who really got her into cigars, Abe, that got her to smoke maybe one of her first cigars was Anna.
Adam? Oh, yeah. Anna. I was going to say Adam.
Yeah. Anna got her into a cigar at your West Palm Beach opening.
Well, what's funny is not just Anna, but like I can't think of really one female bartender that we ever hired. Because I know the guys did, but the female bartenders that we've had, most of them never had a cigar when they came here. And it's never like, hey, we tell them, hey, you got. I don't even know half the time I come out with it. And like, oh, they get into it. They just
her specifically, she has good taste in cigars too.
She's got palate.
She just has a good palate.
Yeah, we spoiled Anna a little bit, but she's got palate.
But it's like couple goals, It's whenever you want to, couple goals.
You're right. It's nice to be able to sit with your spouse and enjoy a cigar and like talk about it. And my wife's a sommelier, so that I think she kind of got into the flavor profiles.
Yeah, it is a little bit up her alley.
Well, and she had to learn about them when she was taking her certified classes. So they do that. They still do cigar pairings with wines as part of the courses, although it's not as prevalent now.
Paul, you've become, and I don't know how, I don't think we ever really talk about it, how into cigars, if you really were at all, but you've become like an official like cigar geek.
I'll tell you what, I was into cigars before, but I didn't. So like I appreciate finer things, right? Like things like really good wine, and not because of the price of them. It's just I know what I like. So I'm told that I have a good palate because some things I like they may be cheaper, but they're whatever, they have good flavor profiles, whatever. And I always enjoyed cigars since my late teens. My grandfather was a huge cigar smoker most of my life that I can remember, and I remember the week before he passed away, he smoked a cigar. He's like, screw this, I'm gonna have a cigar. So he walked outside and at the hospital and he smoked I think it may have been a Romeo and Juliet that he smoked outside. We smoked a cigar together, but he kind of got me into like the nuances of like. Smoke what you like. And I guess since I met you guys, I get to meet all of these guys where you learn the backstories of the brands, meet people like the Kelners and like, I don't know, I like that. I like the story behind it and the passion that goes into it. And then it just so happens that I happen to like, what some people, what the geek cigar guys would call a great cigar most of the time. It's just, Adam and I have similar palates. So I guess I kind of have good taste because he won't smoke a bad cigar, Adam. He doesn't have time.
No, not at all. But not to mention you smoke what I recommend.
Yeah, because I like to try new things, but also like I try to keep myself from. I mean, I have staples that I go to, but I force myself to try new things, even if I don't like the new stuff that I try. Because what if there's something out there? Like there's always something new out there to try. So yeah, I have become more of a cigar geek and. Because of this show, for sure. And I get exposed to cigars that I probably would never be able to as a regular consumer. At least I wasn't rolling in the cigar world at all. Like even the people that I smoked with, you know, they're not like aficionados by any stretch of the imagination. So there was a lot from this show that I would never have been exposed to otherwise, and that's probably why.
Klaas, is Hanky? What is it that? Oh, what, you gonna take a break?
I was gonna take a break, and I was gonna tease more of the history of the Kelner family.
You do it, man. Take the helm.
That was perfect. Ahead. Look at him.
I was shocked. Go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna take a short break from our sponsors. We're gonna have more about the history of the Kelner family in tobacco and more with Klaas here on KMA Talk Radio. Keep it lit.
Hey everyone, Susan Giorgio here.
Hi, this is Rich coming at you from South Florida.
Hi, I'm Tom Stroud.
Hey, it's Stephen Martin coming to you from Seattle, Washington.
Hey everybody, I'm Jennifer True.
Hey everyone, this is Alex Ryan.
I'm a poker player, a dominoes player, a world traveler.
I like to go sailing, hit the golf course, and drink some wine.
I am a mother, I am a content creator.
I'm also a husband, a father, and someone who really enjoys great cigars.
Enjoying a Monte Cristo. In fact, the 50th anniversary Monte Cristo, special limited edition.
My favorite cigar, Monte Cristo Epic.
Please take this opportunity to smoke one of our amazing Monte Cristo cigars, the Monte by Monte being my personal favorite.
I am Monte Cristo.
I am Monte Cristo.
I am Monte Cristo.
We are Monte Cristo.
Surgeon General warning. Tobacco smoke increases the risk of lung cancer and heart disease, even in non-smokers.
Welcome back to KMA Talk Radio, broadcasting live on this lovely rainy day in South Florida. I am Adam K. the Brewmeister. With me, of course, the man, the myth, a man who needs no introduction, Mr. Honest Abe.
Yeah, that was a little weird, but we'll take it. It looks like you stopped in the midstream of one introduction and jumped at another, but it's good. I'll take it.
And, of course, live from his mother-in-law's basement, it's Paul DeGracco!
That's why he fucks up my introduction. He's so excited he can't wait to get to introducing you.
I don't know if he's more excited that I'm in my mother-in-law's basement or that I'm in New York. I'm not sure which.
I don't know why that would excite him. I just always assumed you lived in your mom's basement.
My parents don't have a basement. They live on the water.
That's what I would assume, like right up there with you owning cats.
Oh, God.
It just seems like that'd be the Paul DeGracco thing.
I mean, for the foreseeable future, I will be in my mother-in-law's basement at this point. We're not coming back to COVID land, so
we don't have an exit date yet.
We have an idea of an exit date.
Don't even bother, man. They're getting ready to shut everything down here.
I know that's why we're just not. I mean, we drove, so it's not like we have to worry. But we're just kind of hiding out. I mean, I don't have to be at work. I can work remote.
I'm telling you right now, if they force me to close my retail store, I'm protesting.
How are you going to protest? With a big sign?
I'm gonna do just like everybody else to put social media up, and we're going to go gather at City Hall, and I'm going to protest.
Well, good. Do it at City Hall. That's where protests should happen. Not at like parks and stuff where everybody's doing it.
Buy on the way down there.
Okay.
You're worried I was going to stop at the Best Buy on the way? No, we're going to go to City Hall. I'm telling you, I'm going to put a tent and camp out on the street because this is just getting ridiculous.
Are they forcing you to stop people standing at the bar yet? Because up here they just stop people.
Our bar area has never been open.
Okay.
Now, our bar serves to the lounge area, but you haven't been able to sit at the bar since COVID. Our bar area has been closed. We got signs in between every other seats. We got seats that we took out. Everything's a little spaced out. And they just started. I heard they were doing a thing. They started in Miami this week, and then they were in Boca. This year in Delray. And I'm waiting for them to walk through our front door.
Well, Miami's a little bit different because Miami is shut down completely again, from what I understand.
Well, Palm Beach, yeah. Well, I think they're going to do in Palm Beach.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. Usually Miami happens first, and then but it's not getting any better there either. So that's part of the problem.
I'm just going to go see if Costco will lease me out 20 by 40 space, and I can open up in a Costco. That'll be okay.
They'll probably let you smoke in there too.
Look, we did it. We did it.
Oh, you're right. We came back to it.
See how easy it happens? It like encompasses our lives, man.
Yeah.
We try to avoid it, and we did it. We slipped back. So I'm gonna take us out of this spiraling downward loop.
And go back to our Meet Your Maker for this week, Mr. Klaas Kelner. Klaas, once again, thanks for joining us from the Dominican Republic.
Actually, no.
No?
Yeah, I came back to Florida 2 weeks ago. I'm in the office right now.
Oh, wow, in Tampa.
Yeah.
Oh, how are things there in Tampa?
I wouldn't know. I've been locked up in my apartment and in the office the whole time. It was interesting because it's been a while since I spent so much time in the Dominican Republic, the whole situation and everything, but there was no flights coming in or out, and I had the opportunity to spend more time in the Dominican Republic. But I had to come here at some point because this whole time I had an apartment and a car just taking up space up here, so I had to come and just check how things were going.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I have an
empty. Do you want me to go check on your house, Paul?
Actually, Monday, if you want to go there and supervise my landscaper, he's taking down a 50-foot royal palm that has a fungus on it that's going to fall over any day now.
Did you just ask somebody to supervise the landscaper?
Listen.
Man, there's shit I hear on this show that I just would never assume would come out of a man's mouth.
Hold on. Let me tell you why. The last time that they took, because we have this fungus growing in our front garden that apparently only affects palms. It's a little mushroom that grows on the side of the palm and sucks the life out of the palm. And you can keep knocking them off, but like you'll knock one off, and then 3 days later there's a giant mushroom on it again. And the only way to get rid of it is to get rid of all the palm trees and wait 2 years to replant. So we were just holding off. We took down 4 palm trees. There's one left. And he said, I'm keeping an eye on it. It looks fine. And then last week he said, dude, it's got it. There's no way it's coming back. We got to take it down. The last one that they took down that was this size, his guy was leaning on the tree and fell with the tree into the street. And I wasn't there, and my neighbor saw it and went out to help the guy and bring him water, and he didn't want to go to the hospital. But
I can't believe I'm going down this rabbit hole. I just want to clarify. You just asked Adam to go supervise your landscaper in case he should have an accidental fall and need help. Is this what I'm?
Well, so that he can be the eyewitness when they try to sue me.
What?
So he can be the eyewitness if they try to sue me or make a claim. That way, somebody was there.
And okay. Moving on.
Anyway, so
it's right up there. It's right up there with Daddy Daycare. Moving on.
Oh, come on.
Anyway, so Klaas, you're in Tampa. How long are you planning on staying? And did the missus come with you, or is she still back in the Dominican?
They're all down in Dominican.
Okay.
I don't know how long I'll be here.
I know you'll be back within 5 months.
Yeah, that's true.
We have a history in our family for working too much, and we're very family oriented, but we always work a lot. And in my family, my father, when I was born, he was there for when I was born. And then he flew to the United States to launch Davidoff. The inauguration of Davidoff in the United States is November 1990. So he left my mother with a newborn kid on their first anniversary. And my mother will never forgive him for that. So when I moved back to the United States a couple of weeks ago, I waited for our anniversary and then I left.
There you go.
I was like, I can't miss the anniversary. I can't go down the same road that my father.
But that's how men were back then.
Yes.
Yeah,
they went to work, they went to life, and when they got the phone call, she's going to they would show up. They, baby would be born. And guess what he did the next morning?
Go to work.
He went to work. Yeah. That's what they did. I mean, everything keeps changing. Listen, when my first child was born, right? I mean, after the trauma of like the wiping and the weighing and all that stuff or whatever, I'm waiting for them to take me to a hallway so I can look in front of a glass and, hey, Hey, baby girl, hey, that's you over there in the corner. Man, no, they took me to a private room, dressed her up, and handed her to me and left.
Yeah, they dump it on you.
Where are you going? And I'm like, oh, your wife should be here in 40 minutes. I'm like, what? They left me alone. I was really looking for the glass window to tap on. I thought they were all going to be in little trays lined up in rows.
Mm-hmm.
See, if you had gone to Daddy Day Camp, you would have known what to do, man.
I made okay without Daddy Day Camp, buddy. Right?
It is a different world, though. Like I took a few days off from work when when our second son was born just in March.
I'm surprised
I was off anyway.
Employer maternity leave.
No, they don't do it there. But you know what? I have a lot of clients that take 3 weeks. I have a lot of clients that are the same age as I am, having kids now, and they take 3 weeks paternity leave. I'm like, I gotta work.
Listen, if I worked for somebody and they offered to pay me 3 weeks after having a kid, I would have taken it every time too. I mean, let's face it, but that wasn't an option for our parents, coming up, or even a lot of guys today, probably.
Yeah, I'm in sales, so I worked the next day, but not in the office because we were already quarantined at that point.
Yeah, but we really like working, and I can't see myself not working, and I love doing events, and I love doing all these live sessions and everything. So I know down the next couple of months, as things open up again, hopefully we have some things in plan for starting to slowly do some in-store events, of course, or in-person events, big ones that will go through proper policies, proper regulations to make sure all the social distancing and everything is done. But for the meantime, I can work from anywhere, and because all these events that we're doing are online. And we are pulling off amazing events online where there are sales generated, where people tune in from wherever they are, or people go to a huge location where they can be there sitting at social distancing. And then I'm on the big screen doing the seminar. And it's exactly the same. It's just I'm not there in person. I'm just over a camera, and they're all looking at me right there.
You know what a lot of people forget and they don't realize? And honestly, look, in life, whether it's a pandemic or whatever, you have to learn to pivot, right? If you can't pivot, you're just always stuck in the same spot. And, COVID was a pivot for a lot of us. But honestly, there's a part of me that's beating myself in the back of my head. I'm like, why did it take COVID for me to start doing this? Because we forget, because we get spoiled, especially here in South Florida, we get spoiled, right? Because there's actually quality shops, top-notch shops, 15 minutes in almost every direction, 20 minutes over direction. We've got a lot of solid cigar shops here. But when you travel the country, they're far and few in between. I mean, you got to remember, there's probably only, I don't know what the number is, but if I had to throw a guesstimate out there, 3,000, 4,000 top. I mean, it's tops at the most. And if you really want to go to maybe a bigger lounger, maybe even less, 1,500, 2,000. But there's 3,000 or 4,000 shops across all America.
Yep. And then
most guys don't have a place to go to have a cigar event. The majority of this country doesn't have a place to go. So these virtual events are awesome for them.
Yep. And when I was on the road, I remember in 2016, I took over 100 planes. I was over 200 days out on the road. And with adding other responsibilities besides events into my role, I've scaled that down a little bit, still was doing a ton of events. But it's just like you say, you got to travel a lot in car and plane to go from one really good store to the next. And for Davidoff purposes, really Davidoff appointed merchant accounts, there's only a little under 300. And so we're talking about top 300 stores. And you got to travel a lot and have a lot of hours in the car to get from one appointed merchant to the next. And in between, I would stop at a smaller store for a novel event or for a staff training on another brand. But exactly like Abe is saying, there's far and few.
So what's your favorite place in the U.S. to visit that you've been to so far?
Are we talking cigar lounges, cigar stores, or just in general my favorite place?
In general. We're going in general.
Okay, because I've been to Napa Valley 4 times. Mm-hmm. And I love wine country. I love just the whole feel of being able to go from one winery to the next, learn the different processes. have a cigar with a bottle of wine, and then go to the next one and have another cigar with another bottle of wine. And it's a 3-4 day affair. And one of those times that I went, it was actually with my father. And my father had not been there since the 90s. So I treated I treated him to a day in Napa with his son. And we went to visit different wineries and everything. And it was just great. Back then in the 90s, my father was making cigars for many people, and he had a lot of cool events in the Napa area with different winemakers. Especially in one case, he went to the house of Robert Mondavi and had an amazing dinner cigar event there.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
I just had my first trip to Napa October. I think we were there October. First time there, we fell in love with it. We loved it. It was a great time. I was very surprised to see how cigar friendly they were.
Yeah.
In Napa for being in California. I mean, they were
so open.
So open, and they're farmers,
mm-hmm.
right? So even as farmers, they have an inherent respect for tobacco, right? They understand the agricultural process. But no, we loved it. We had the time of our lives. Definitely want to go back if the world ever gets back to normal.
Knock on part of the board.
So speaking of your dad, is he retired yet?
He's never going to retire.
You know what? What is it about that generation? Because I'm going to tell you something. I don't. And look, unfortunately, I'm to the age now where there have been a lot of good growers and blenders who have passed away. But it's that they're just going to work till they die.
Yep. He's not in the factory.
Yeah, he's not working as hard, but he wouldn't know what to do.
Oh, I think he's working as hard or even harder because
he's still working that hard.
Oh
wow.
Yeah, he has so much energy because he's no longer just in the factory day-to-day things. You know, he's not in that position now. He's in the position where he is really fighting for the industry. He is at a country level now. He is meeting with the politicians, with the people that are doing all the regulations, with Board of Exportation, Board of Agriculture, in tobacco, so in the Institute of Tobacco in the Dominican Republic, and of course, president of Pro Cigar. So he is really tackling it now at a much more global level, and he is really trying to make Dominican Republic in good standing for the world economically. And
how old is your dad now?
74.
And he doesn't want to slow the pace at all, huh?
No.
Good for him.
I think he has more energy than me.
Good for him.
That's awesome.
I mean, it would be he would try to wake us up at 5 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday to go to the farm, and I'm like, really? It's Sunday. But he instilled that work mentality into us, and I feel the same way. I don't want to ever retire. I want to keep pushing cigars and tobacco and promoting the cigar industry forever until the day I'm no longer there. You know. And
that's awesome.
That's the idea. I think my whole family is like that too. We
gotta. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, we had to ask KMA question from one of our top fans, Sean Miles. He wanted to know, what's your favorite wine, Californian wine?
There's a wine called Emolo. It's from the Camus family. Okay. So the Camus.
Love Camus. Can't go wrong with
Camus. I love Camus. My brother actually makes a cigar for them. So they sell it right there on the vineyard in the States. But out of all their wines, Emolo is probably one of my favorites. It is made by the daughter of the Wagner family. So the father, the son, the daughter, all of them have different wines, and I think that's one of my favorites. There is another one also from Castello di Amorosa, the Barolo. It's phenomenal. I love it.
Did you know those wines, Paul?
I know the Camus family very well. I mean, Camus is
the second one.
I do not know.
Yeah, neither did I. Yeah,
Castello di Amorosa. If you're ever in Napa, it's a beautiful estate, and it's Castello, like it says, it's a castle.
Yeah.
And I mean, they have great wines, but also the experience that you're there while you're there is fantastic. And on their higher end, the Castello di Amorosa Barolo, that one, It's sealed with wax, and it's just very flavorful, big body, but also very creamy, almost like butter. And I love wines that roll off your tongue, so creamy, so buttery, so sweet. And it's still red wine with a lot of body, but it's not as tanninic, you know, it's not as powerful in the back. So it doesn't tire me out. I can drink the whole bottle by myself and I'll be happy.
Mm-hmm. So in the same way, is wine your favorite thing to pair with a cigar, or is there another beverage you prefer to pair with a cigar?
I am Dominican, so I grew up with my bottle of rum, my Dominoes, and my cigars.
Good for you.
Yeah, so for rum purposes, I'm traditionally extra viejo. It's the normal Brugal rum, and with my Dominoes, with my cigar, great. But I've gotten so much into wines in the last couple of years that it's my favorite. The only thing is that for a wine, if I open up a bottle, I want to finish the bottle right there and then, you know. So if I'm by myself, it's a little tough sometimes. I mean, I can, but it's a commitment. And if I'm going to open up a bottle of wine, I prefer to share it. Where with a bottle of rum, I can just have a drink and then just seal up the bottle, and it's fine because of the high alcohol content, and it'll survive for many months, no problem. But for wine, it's more of a commitment. But just talking about wines, we've been doing a series of episodes called Crop to Shop on Facebook. So every couple of weeks on Wednesday, we are doing very educational episodes on the Davidoff Cigars webpage. And it's every couple Wednesdays at night. And the next one is on August 5th. And we are going to be doing an event with Grand Cru. So you know how Grand Cru has the wine story, the wine analogy. Yes. But the famous winemaker, Michel Rolland, is going to be on the show with me, and he's going to be tuning in from France. And
that's cool.
Yeah, he makes great wines, not only in France but also in Napa. And we're going to be tasting his wines from his Rolland Bodega from Argentina. And that one is going to be a phenomenal event. I mean, and the guy he's world renowned, but he's going to bring it up to another level. You know, it's not just tasting; it's actually technical level.
That sounds actually interesting.
Yeah.
Now, are these open to anybody, or how do they watch these? Where is it on the
just like you
personal channel, or
the Davidoff Cigars webpage, open up to anybody that follows Davidoff Cigars Facebook, and right on Facebook it's going to be live streaming. Normally later in the day. I think this one's going to be at 3:00 Eastern time because Michelle is going to be tuning in from France, so the time difference. So August 5th, look out for it. We're going to be promoting it soon. But I'm really excited for that one. And we have plans also to do events with Michel Rolland in person in Argentina, in Mendoza as well. So
very cool.
So definitely.
Now you mentioned growing up with a bottle of rum in your hand, but when was the first time you had? At what age did you have your first cigar?
The first memory of me tasting a cigar, I was 4 years old.
Ooh.
What?
Wait,
yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. That's the first memory. I remember it was dinner time at an apartment, really small apartment we were at the time, and my dad had clients there and family, and they were all enjoying cigars, and I was curious, so I asked my dad, can I taste? And yeah, he said, yeah, go ahead, taste. I can't say I knew how. I can't, it probably was a shock. I don't remember enjoying it, but I was curious about it. But it wasn't till the age of 7, 8 that I started really sitting in on my dad's seminars. So my dad would, at the time, we still do it, but we would receive groups during January, February, in a trip called Viaje al Origen for retailers. And during these weeks, during the early time of the year, during the crop season, we would receive these groups and my dad would do seminars. So they would take me out of class, or if it was on a Sunday or on a Saturday, I would go and I would sit in the back of the room while all these retailers are having a seminar with my dad, and I'm just enjoying the cigars in the back. So I think we were doing Grand Cru at the time. So probably my first cigar ever, full cigar, was a Grand Cru number 3.
Wow.
At the age of 7, 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm just shocked you can remember the size.
Well, I can tell you the size because
that's what your dad used to smoke.
Yeah, that's the seminar that my dad was doing.
Right.
That makes sense. And did you puke afterwards?
No. I've never puked with a cigar.
He's a Kelner, man. Wait, I have a question for you. So, the first year I became an appointed merchant, I'm trying to get the year. I'm going to guess it was 1999. There's a phrase that's constantly repeated through dealing with the company, through sometimes marketing, through sometimes advisory board meetings. And as someone who's third generation in tobacco, business, and probably one of the youngest members of Davidoff's senior team, right?
Uh-huh.
What does the phrase "the Davidoff philosophy" mean to you?
Oh, which phrase are you talking, or just Davidoff philosophy?
They use that word a lot. As a retailer, they want you to understand the Davidoff philosophy. I hear it all the time in interacting with Davidoff. I mean, is that something that you have a feeling about what the Davidoff philosophy is? Because they have. Yeah. I mean, they without a doubt have a culture and a philosophy.
Well, there's the marketing, sales Davidoff philosophy. So dealing with retailers and dealing with consumers. So you can say the Davidoff philosophy on the Zino Davidoff side. Zino Davidoff being that the king of cigars, retailer, that Davidoff of Geneva since 1911. It was always about great customer service, and we're always providing a luxury experience around cigars. And I think we try to live by that with customer service, not only to the retailer, but also to the consumer, so that every time they have a Davidoff, they have, using the tagline, "Time beautifully filled." Or the previous tagline when you started as a retailer, "The good life," and it's really about, I think your mic is muted.
Yeah, Abe, you're muted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the good life. Yeah. I think they even used it on the cologne. You say the good life on it too? It was even on other products.
Yeah, and it was really about creating this atmosphere around the cigar experience. It's not just a cigar. It's not just great flavor notes, great aromas, but it's really about creating a whole environment around the cigar so that every time you enjoy one is great. But then I can also tell you that there is a philosophy, the one I grew up with, which is like the factory farmer side. And the Davidoff philosophy from the factory side, the cigar side, tobacco side, it's we normally say 3 words, and there's one of them that is even more important than the others, in my opinion. One of them is creating cigars that are positive of taste, so positivity, always agreeable to the palate, always no negative connotations, always pleasant. And then there's the second word, which is balance, creating a cigar experience that is balanced, not only just in the palate, it's balanced and not one-sided, not one-dimensional, it's complex, but also enhancing your whole experience around the cigar, also for it to be balanced and complete. And the third word is consistency. And I think that's really the biggest word there. The most important one is creating consistency with every single cigar that we make, meaning every cigar that you have, doesn't matter if you had it 30 years ago in the 90s during the boom time, you're having it now, it's exactly the same flavor experience. And it's always exactly the same cigar that you've always had. And you can only achieve that with great quality control, with large amounts of inventory and a lot of processes. And you have to really believe in consistency in the cigar world, because it's also about being loyal to you, the retailer, and also being loyal to the consumer. Because if you are having one cigar one day and then the cigar a couple years down the road is not the same, then we're not being loyal to you. So I like working a lot with the philosophy of loyalty with the retailers, with the consumers, and also our supplier in the factory.
Whoa.
He disappeared.
He's here. I still see him.
Everything's okay? Everything's okay, Paul?
Everything's okay on our side.
Okay.
Oh, wait, we just lost him. Now we lost him.
Nope, I still see Klaas.
There he is.
I don't.
I'm here.
There we go.
Okay.
That was weird.
So Dylan is chiming in, Klaas, and just saying that we invest in the most precious of elements, time, which is kind of what you're saying as well.
Spoken like a true Davidoff executive. Oh,
yeah.
Really?
It's going back to the time beautifully filled philosophy. It's again enhancing your time with your cigar. Never just having a cigar just to have a cigar. It's about really filling that precious moment that time is something that we can't get back. So definitely always enhancing that moment as much as you can.
Yeah.
I think that pretty much sums it up. But before we get Coupon, I want to share a story with you I think you'd appreciate. I accidentally muted myself because I tried to find the audio, but I wouldn't know how to play it anyway. But I will find this audio. It's somewhere on my computer, and I will post it today on KMA. But we used to have a segment called Dummy Dialers. It was a big hit. I got some awesome audio clips. I mean, one of these days I'm going to make a compilation. But during the boom when everybody started smoking synthetic marijuana and K2 and all this stuff, right? And our phones at work started blowing up, right? It just started blowing up like crazy. So my staff was getting frustrated, so I decided to have fun because we had just started our radio shows. We put a recorder on, and when they would call in, we would mess with them and play jokes. And then we ran out of the fad stopped, and then I started playing practical jokes on guys within the industry. But the reason I bring all that up is I used to work with Emily, and Emily, for the guys who have been watching us long enough, was Lady M, right? And you never got to work with Lady M, Paul, did you?
Yeah, sure, of course I did.
Yeah, briefly.
It was a little bit.
Yeah. A year.
Was it a year?
Yeah.
Okay. So before we had a producer, Lady M, Emily used to book all our guests, and she was flipping through Aficionado once, and there was an ad for Davidoff, and it was Zino Davidoff. She's like, "Why don't we get him on?" I looked at her. Yeah, we should get him on. Well, you got a number? I said, well, just call the Davidoff store in New York. See. Hold on, we recorded this. Dude, I'm going to find this audio, but she literally calls up the store and says, "Hi, yes, might I please speak with Zino?" And the guy goes, "You mean Lino?" There happened to be a guy there named Lino. It's like, No, Zino. You mean Lino? She's like, "No, Zino Davidoff." And he goes, "He's dead." And you hear everybody go, oh. Dude, it's so funny. I'm going to find that audio. We actually made her call the store to book Zino Davidoff for episode of KMA. True story. I'm going to find that audio.
That's awesome.
I have a similar story with the Davidoff store, but it was a little backwards. Every single summer between classes, my dad would take me to New York, and my dad would go 3-4 times a year to New York. And as a little kid, I would grow up going to the store and seeing the staff there from back in the 90s into the 2000s. Of course, Lino being there, Alberto. They now work with our team here in Pinellas Park. But there was I won't mention his name, but there was an employee that had been there for 13 years. He's seen me every single year, sometimes a couple times a year. And I'm like, I think I was like 20 or 21 now, and this time I went alone. And the staff treats me, and they're like, "Wow, so nice to see you." We go to the lounge downstairs. I spend the whole day there. I'm talking to everybody, and this person working at the store, who still works there, by the way, just didn't know who I was. And he's seen me grow up. And,
that's funny.
And we had so many conversations, and towards the end of the day, we decided to go to a bar and just hang out. So we take the subway, and we're in the subway. He just goes to me in front of everybody. He's like, "You know so much about our cigars. You know so much about tobacco. I'm so impressed. How? Why? Who are you?" And everybody's like, "What? Who are you?" And I can't do that anymore. I can't go into a store,
right.
like a, what do you call that? Like a secret boss or undercover boss?
The days of your anonymity is over.
Yeah.
Wait, and the other thing before we bring Coop on, you have something special to show us there, Klaas, that you mentioned before we went live.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about that cigar you have there.
I moved on to this cigar now. I have a full one here, but it's a Perfecto shape. We just relaunched it in beginning of July. So our company in the United States is already sold out. All the boxes are in market already, so we don't have any in inventory here anymore. So that's great news. But this is the Davidoff Special 53 Capa Dominicana. And this is the cigar that we launched originally in 2002, the first cigar that Davidoff ever made with 100% Dominican tobacco, including the wrapper. So here's the box. It says nice. Vintage blend over there. So it is one of our vintage blends. It's been around for a long time. And it's, I think, in my opinion, it is the great example of what the Davidoff White Label core flavor can be with an added component of that rich Dominican wrapper. And if you know the stories of Yamasa, where it took over 20 years to create Yamasa, you can call this cigar like the grandfather or the father of Yamasa. There you go. So this is really the first cigar ever with the concept of Yamasa, with the concept of using that farm with Dominican wrapper. So that is how we got to where we are today, that cigar. And it's incredibly flavorful, but 100% Dominican.
So going back to the Lady M story, Lino works in Pinellas Park now?
Yeah.
We should get Lino on just to talk to Lino.
You know, when we went, we did a KMA episode once. We flew up to New York, and it was, your dad was there, Jeff Lee. I know Dylan was there, but Dylan had just gotten there. But and the phone line didn't work. They were trying to run the line up from downstairs. So we literally did a KMA episode on a cell phone. Because we didn't have video back then.
Wow.
You know? So we actually were passing a cell phone around doing a KMA episode. But yeah, Emily got to meet Lino that trip. She got to meet the Lino that trip.
Anyway, let's move on. Our correspondent for the news and information, live from his garage in North Carolina, Mr. William Cooper. Koopaloop, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Hey, Klaas, how's it going?
Hi, Coop. How are you?
Doing well. Congratulations, by the way. I heard the news earlier. Yeah, wonderful news.
Thank you.
Coop, any advice?
What you're going to have...
Don't go to Daddy Daycare.
You don't have to go to Daddy Daycare. Here's my advice. The first year, you're going to say, man, we got this. We could do everything like we normally do, right? But then and Paul could probably tell you this, then they become mobile, and then they start to talk, and then you realize that's when the changes are going to happen in your life. Yeah.
So, Coop, what's in the news this week?
Well, I got news for Coop.
Oh, no, hold on. Yep, sorry.
Yeah, hang on. I get to say hi to Coop, see how he's doing. Yeah. First off, I want to thank you for doing the Thursday night virtual event with us.
Thank you as well.
Your presence was much appreciated and very entertaining. But I do have to ask, because I didn't want to get into it on the show, but what is the backstory about you and Steve Saka? What was he accusing you of that you then threw Aaron Loomis under the bus?
Aaron said I did throw him under the bus. So I don't know what he was actually specifically talking about. But there was nothing I said, right? But I think what happened, this is what I think happened from putting some pieces together. And if anyone's got the actual audio clip of this or video clip from my show, let me know. I think there was a topic when we were reviewing 2019 in review that somehow Steve and Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust came up in the conversation.
Negatively, from what I understand.
But not from me. I could tell you it wasn't from me.
Well, I'll tell you. Yeah. I think he's had the assumption it is you.
Oh, I think he has too, although he wrote something yesterday to the contrary, because I said, no, I thought Steve had a very good 2019.
He wrote something to the contrary. Is he doing the Skip Martin backpedal?
There was something, he put something up there yesterday on Facebook to the contrary. But
is he doing the Skip Martin backpedal? No way.
Nah, Steve. But I do know that there was some, I don't know who made the critiques. I don't want to say it was Aaron or some other panel folks that night. There was some folks that were more critical of Steve's 2019, but I was, and Ronnie of all people will back me up on this one, saying,
oh, so you just got pinned for it because you were just in the broadcast.
Yeah, it's like that dude who got mad at me because Skip ripped his YouTube channel. It was like the same thing. Like,
I remember that.
I remember that.
Yeah, that guy who stole my content, by the way, and now by the way, he ripped off my audio without attribution. Well, that's another story, right? Now I think his channel's in trouble, but I got accused of that, like, just because it was on my show, it was on my watch. But there is no, if I said something negative about Steve, I need to hear or see it, is what I'll just say. But I don't think I said anything like that.
I just wanted to hear it again. That's all.
We've made fun of Steve because Steve's always selling himself short, like, oh, this is never going to sell, don't buy this, or
that's his selling, that's his marketing.
That's his selling strategy. And I made fun of him about that stuff, but no, I as far as I thought, 2019 was a very good year for Steve, and I'll stand by that.
All right, okay. Well said. That being said, now what is there anything in the news?
Yeah, actually, let's start off with, like, in Klaas's backyard. There is something coming out of Davidoff that is shipping later this month, and it's the new Camacho Nicaragua. And I actually had a chance to smoke that, and it's a really good cigar. So it's and Klaas could probably talk more better than me about it, but Ecuadorian wrapper, Honduran binder, fillers from Honduras, Dominican, and of course Nicaragua. Available in 3 sizes: Robusto, Toro, and Churchill. So it's pretty exciting because it's something, being added to the Camacho family. I love the cigar. It was very good.
It's a very well-rounded cigar.
Yeah.
I think that it's a new expression for Camacho.
I agree.
Always Camacho being very on the bolder side with very impactful flavors. I think this one is a very well-rounded expression of what Camacho can be in a much more balanced way. But it still has that flavor impact, which is what it has to still be a Camacho. It still has to have the Camacho DNA.
Yeah. It didn't overpower me, let's say, with strengths, but full flavored. It was that full flavor that Camacho is known for.
And when is that going to hit the market?
Coop, you got the date on you?
According to we got it should be like
next week. It's next week, right?
Yeah. I just didn't want to jump the boat with Klaas, obviously. But sometimes you'll be surprised. We get these information and people in the company don't. It's very true.
Well, our company is very good about giving you guys the information.
Yeah. Absolutely.
They actually do press releases, Coop?
Yes, they do. They do very well.
Yeah, we get them too. Them too.
Yeah, they are in. I would, if I had to go A, B, C, D, F, they're A. We've always gotten press releases from them.
So what else is happening this week, Coop?
Well, this week the so-called road show is taking place with and one of the 4 companies is Rocky Patel, and one of the cigars that they're kind of unveiling as part of this roadshow is the Rocky Patel Quarter Century. Marks 25 years of Rocky Patel in the cigar industry. And according to what the cigar is going to be, it's going to be a Mexican San Andres wrap cigar over Nicaraguan binder and filler, and the cigars are aged for 2 years after rolling. And the Quarter Century is available in a Robusto, a Toro, and a 60. So you should start seeing those cigars, I think, later next month is what I'm hearing.
Have you heard anything about the roadshow, Coop?
Yeah, I have. I was going to go on Thursday.
Would you like to share what you've heard about the roadshow? See if I heard the same thing.
I've heard. I don't know what you want me to talk about, but
you've heard.
Okay,
I've heard they haven't been going too well.
Okay, so this is what I'm hearing. I heard that, for example, there was not products that were the new products were hardly to be seen. Okay, I mean you could order the new products, but there wasn't a lot of new products. I have heard social distancing has been practiced on it. The retailers who went in Charlotte, and I didn't go because, again, I just didn't feel safe with COVID right now. They said it was pretty well organized as far as that goes. I didn't get a lot of wow factor from anyone.
I heard about half the people who said they were going to go ended up, they had about half the attendance of the RSVP. That's what I've heard. I haven't had time to call confirm with anybody, but that's just is probably rumor.
I heard that from some of the stuff that was taking place in the other cities. Charlotte was a little better attended. All the players in Charlotte were there. Right. So that part I heard. But I have heard of lower attendance in certain other areas. A lot of retailers were saying, well, why do I have to go here to put my order in? Why can't these guys just come to town and come to my store like everybody else? So That was some of the feedback I was hearing about it. There's in terms of media, there was nothing I was missing, is what I heard. Like I said, the products weren't even out with some of the companies there. So, and then I heard some people were trying to open accounts and weren't allowed to open accounts for various reasons.
Really?
So, yeah.
I didn't hear that one.
I heard that one too. Yeah. So, which I'm not going to get into the specifics of the companies because I don't know what the situations were, but I heard that. Yeah.
Interesting. What else is going on this week, Coop?
Well, in the longest running soap opera in the cigar industry, the PCA, right after Abe does a show on Tuesday night, the next day they announced that the PCA announces that 2 of the key players in the organization who were furloughed are coming back. Scott Pierce, who is the executive director, and the head of government affairs, Joshua Habarsky. So their furlough was over kind of after one day, and they are back to work. The board of directors is saying that this is still a short-term furlough, and the rest of the staff will be coming back. I guess we'll see on that. But at least there's someone in the office right now at PCA.
But still no one will answer the phone.
I was just going to say that, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should shut up.
So have you heard?
Listen. If you ever want to get Pierce on, Paul, just ask Coop. He gets him on all the time.
No, we've had him on, and we share.
Coop helped you get him last time.
No, Coop, you can back me up here. I asked Coop to get me in touch with him, and he gave me his email address, and Scott didn't answer that way. The way I got Scott was on LinkedIn Premium. I messaged him on my LinkedIn Premium, and he answered me almost immediately, and that's how we got him on the show. But we share text numbers now, so we can definitely have Scott on again. We probably should get him on.
We should.
Well, I remember that day I was in Minneapolis, right? And it was like 10 below zero. And I'm like, I had to get, that was like the easiest way for me to put my fat fingers on the phone to kind of tell you, just go get that. I couldn't pull it up. I had gloves on. I remember that day specifically.
Yeah, we got him on. I mean, he was great on the show, too.
I think we should get Scott Pierce and Charlie Minato on the same show.
Oh my goodness!
Will Charlie do our show?
Adam doesn't get it because he's completely out of the loop.
Would Charlie do our show?
Absolutely, he would.
Charlie was part of the show for a while, I think. Yeah.
Charlie, actually,
he was good. Charlie's very good on these shows. Let me tell you.
Wait. Didn't you deal with Charlie Minato
a lot?
When you first started?
Yeah.
You couldn't get him to submit the news on time, but that's
I wasn't sure if he had hard feelings about that with me. I don't know. I like the guy. He's very nice.
I was just on a show with him.
I know. I saw.
I was on About That Cigar with him. No, not at all. In fact, I found it funny throughout the whole show. Every time he finished talking, he said, "Oh, now I yield my time to Abe." After every sentence, he would go, "Now I yield my time to Abe." He was trying to prevent Skip Martin from talking. He was trying to lead it right into me so Skip wouldn't have a chance to go in a whole dissertation of biblical proportions.
Yeah, there was a lot of. I encourage folks to check out that show. There was a lot of interesting things. I mean,
I had a lot of fun. It went way longer than I thought it was going to go. Man, can't you guys just do like 90 minutes? Why are these all like telethons? That was like 3.5 hours.
No, the thing is, we're not constrained by anything. So the thing is, if you want to listen to the whole thing, you can, but you can listen to it in pieces.
I'm talking about listening. I was the guest. I couldn't get off the show.
Say goodbye. You got to go. Well, say goodbye. Sometimes we always tell the guests. We always ask the guests if we have a time limit, and then we ask, "Hey, yeah."
It's funny because
I texted, I messaged Matt during the show, like after we started breaking the 3-hour mark. I'm like, "Hey, how long does your show typically go?" It was a long show, but it was fun.
Did he say, "I don't know"?
That was long for Matt's show.
That's what I heard. That was longer than normal for his show.
Yeah, he normally is about 2 hours. He goes.
Yeah, but Coop, you've done like 6-hour shows, Coop, right?
Yeah, Matt's one of the rising guys in the cigar media right now.
I was just gonna say it was my first time on his show. I was really impressed.
Yeah, I think he's one of the guys. He was with another group for a while, and then he spun off his own brand. And
he was Blind Man's Puff, right?
Yeah, he was with Blind Man's Puff.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, so he worked with Aaron for a while because Aaron was also associated with it, and those guys have just gone in different directions, obviously. And Matt's brand's been one of the rising brands for sure.
It was a good show.
Yeah.
Anything else you got going on, Coop?
The other thing, just kind of this is more of a footnote, maybe something to watch, but Intertabac, which was canceled this year, announced they're going to have a hybrid offering called ITS Hub. Really what it is going to be a slightly scaled back trade show floor with a virtual component. So that may be something to watch to see if it kind of hits, maybe we start seeing trade shows like this in the States next year. That could be the new model going forward.
Interesting.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, I think PCA is going to have to do some work. Like the thing is why I think Intertabac's able to do it. It's
some work.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Intertabac's put on by the group in Dortmund that runs the venue. So I think this was a bigger initiative they've had to basically make all their trade shows in the venue virtual. PCA is going to have to somehow latch on to that. I don't know if anyone in Vegas, like the Sands, is doing that. I can't see them creating that from scratch, though. So, I don't. And all indications, Abe, is that I think the trade show is going to be the same as it was 2019. I don't see change happening.
It's like it's an 18-wheeler barreling like 100 miles an hour down the highway. It's just so hard for them to even try to make a turn.
Mm-hmm.
It just takes so much effort, and they just don't have it.
Yeah, I do. I mean, all the indications are, they were pretty much going to. The 2021 trade show, everyone's going to get the same floor locations. I think they were just going to go with the same plan they had. So I don't, that's why people are furloughed right now. The more I look at this.
Excellent. All
Anything else, Gagger and Coop?
What was that?
Anything else?
That's pretty much the news for this week.
What do we got coming up on cigar-coop.com this week?
Well, we're doing our version of a virtual trade show on Thursday. So what we're doing, and this has been a very difficult effort because we're trying to reach out to so many companies. We've sent out emails and stuff, and we're collecting responses. But we're gonna have this show where we're gonna have a bunch of companies scheduled to come on. They're gonna get like a 5 to 10 minute slot, and they're gonna be able to talk about what products they're releasing this summer. So it's kind of like our version of that. It's not gonna be 10 different companies in a Zoom room talking. Like, we're going to be pulling people in and out. You're going to have an exclusive window to do that. How this is going to work, we'll see. I don't know how it's going to work or not. But we've been working on the schedules, working on the list. I think we've put out invitations to a bunch of people right now, and we're getting them back.
Very cool. Sounds like a very good time. Sounds like a very informative piece of information. A lot of people should tune into that. When is that going to air?
Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
Yep.
So basically the way you would do it at the trade show, going from booth to booth, talking to people as normal. Okay.
Right. Wait, so I think what's been missing with all this virtual coverage, like, so Klaas and Davidoff, they've done a great job, especially with the education piece. I mean, they've got it nailed. Abe, Thursday night, you put on a blueprint for how to do a sales event with that, right? I think the part that's missing is, a lot of the trade show coverage, we see people go around booth to booth with the microphone, like Paul said, and they talk about the products. And we feel that's the part that's been missing with all this Zoom and virtual.
Yeah.
So this is going to we're going to attempt it. We were actually going to do something like this pre-IPCPR PCA this year. We were actually going to try the same concept. We put it off because product announcements were delayed. So we're going to try it, but try to address that other piece that maybe has been a little bit of a void this year.
Very cool.
I think it's extremely doable.
Yep. Yeah. So we'll see how it works. Yeah.
Excellent. Best of luck with that, and hopefully no technical issues. Unlike this show. Paul.
Why would you say that? Don't bring it up.
Who did, Thursday, by the way, Brian did a good job on Thursday, except for that voice that we were hearing at the beginning.
Let me tell you something. I totally said if Steve's got to do this for like 2 hours, he is going. At some point, he was just because I know Steve.
Oh, I know him too.
He would have taken the headphones off and said, "I'm just sorry, guys. I just can't do this. It's sorry. We'll do it. I can't. I got to get off because it was like seriously like loud Exorcist, and we bared through it for a good 15 minutes, maybe 20 even." Before we figure out how to make the sound go away.
Yeah. Not to give myself props, but just so you know, I was on the phone with Brian the whole time in the beginning of the broadcast to try and help him.
You can't give yourself props because you didn't help him.
Brian, and let me tell you, Brian did like real good prep for this, Paul. I mean, I'm not knocking anybody, but he got us all on a phone on Thursday to test this and everything.
So what you're saying essentially, Coop, that Brian
should be the
something
producer.
that Paul never did, and he was thorough. Is that what you're saying?
I can't say what Paul did or didn't do.
Okay.
I'm just saying what Brian did.
Adam, when did we get our outlines for the show today?
8:45.
8:45.
8:45 this morning.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Brian would have had him the day before.
Yep.
Just saying.
He would have had an Asana task.
But Paul's the best we can afford, right?
Honestly, Paul is the best we can afford.
Coop, man. Coop used to be my friend. I don't know what's happening.
As soon as I hit that Powerball, he's gone.
I don't know. If I hit the... Oh, you hit the Powerball.
Yeah,
if I hit the Powerball, I'd still be here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, listen, before I want to ask a couple questions that I saw scroll in, but I have a couple of my own class before we let you go. And anybody could chime in on this one if you want. What's the last movie anybody's seen?
I just watched the new Netflix show with Charlize Theron.
I just watched it, Old Guard.
Yeah.
God, you guys are the same person.
6 a.m. How odd is that?
Yeah. I watched it this week, yeah.
I thought
it could have been better.
I don't hold a lot of weight to Netflix movie. It's mostly like, I got some time to kill. Let me see if there's any Netflix movie. I thought it was entertaining. I mean, I told my wife to watch it.
Oh, yeah,
She's
it was definitely entertaining.
Fan.
But it wasn't as good as the Ryan Reynolds one, but that was also done by Michael Bay.
No, the Ryan Reynolds one was really good.
But that one had way more budget, obviously.
Yeah, no, it was good. No, it was good. It was entertaining. The Old Guard. I can't believe you just said that because I ended up working through the night. I pulled an all-nighter because we're trying to prep for the
True Estate event.
Yes, and there's a lot of logistics involved. And instead of waiting to the last minute, I just pounded it all out. Once I get going like that, it's really funny, man. I just old-fashioned because it was a lot of moving parts, and I just couldn't do it on a computer screen. I had to actually get paper and lie them out on the table and wrote on a notebook. I literally wrote, I mean, seriously, this was my paperwork from last night. I wrote all my notes on a notebook, old-fashioned, and then I'm going to have Matt Briggs translated to an Excel spreadsheet. But I got them done. I got all the packages done. And it was like 4:30 in the morning. I'm not going to bed. And I ended up watching that movie. It's so odd. I don't know if I'm like elated or surprised, or it kind of freaks me out that we both watched the same movie last.
You guys have very similar taste in that respect with entertainment.
Yes, with entertainment we do.
Yeah.
How about you, Coop? What's the last movie you saw?
I watched that movie Eurovision.
Oh, with Will Ferrell. Yeah, on Netflix.
Yeah. I've always been fascinated by that contest they do every year. So it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, actually. It was enjoyable. It's typical, that slapstick Will Ferrell type of comedy you're going to get with that. So
yeah.
It's worth checking out. I mean, if you have Netflix, check it out is what I'll say.
Klaas, what's the last movie you watched?
It was a couple of weeks ago, or like a week or something ago. I think it was called Hacksaw Ridge, the World War II movie.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Ridge.
I think I saw that.
Oh, that's an oldie.
About the first, I think it's called Conscientious Objector or Conscientious Objector that doesn't want to touch weapons, guns, and he was the first person to get, I forget what the medal is called, but it was very inspiring, and
that was a good movie.
It really, I think what really caught me was just his will to keep on going in hard times, and he never gave up on what he believed on, and he pulled through everybody fighting him on this idea of being a conscious objector. And I mean, he saved so many people just because of his own will and believing in what he believes. So very, very impressive movie. I love those movies that are based on real life events.
Me too.
I love
real life events movies always get an extra point. Mm-hmm. Like when I'm like rating them, if they're based on a true story, it always gives a little extra. Like if you ask me to compare movies and they're both great movies, but one's based on a true story, that gets a little higher rating.
Gets a little bit higher.
Yeah. How about you, Paul?
I hate telling you.
It's a Disney movie.
It is a Disney movie, but it's not like a kiddie movie. Last night,
it's the unanimated Lion King. Is that not
that is a great one. My wife's My wife has a half sister that is younger, so she's 12, and she never saw 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And we put it on last night. I watched the whole thing. She was done after about 20 minutes. She walked away and went on her computer. But I watched that last night. I love that movie. I think it's that and Swiss Family Robinson are some of my favorite live-action classic Disney movies. They're amazing. So I can watch 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea a million times. It's also one of the few books that I've ever read twice. Is by Jules Verne. It's an amazing book, and I'm not a huge book guy. One of the best books I've ever read in my entire life is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Very readable, but still just it's like you're in the action with that one. So yeah, I watched 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. The technology, whew, it is rough watching the special effects in that movie.
Right? You know, that happens to me a lot. Like I remember growing up watching a movie, and I was like, "That was an awesome movie." And then you tell somebody about it, and then you watch it like 20 years later, like, "Oh, that movie kind of sucks."
When I was a kid, that giant squid was so cool, and she came in when it was on because she had already been off the movie for a while. She's like, "What the hell is that? Is that some kid doing that on YouTube?" I'm like, "Wow, all right."
I watched Yellow Submarine by the Beatles recently, and the animation there is sober.
You're not supposed to watch that. That's why. That was bad when I was a teenager.
That's explained. Yeah, but the animation is like as crude as you can get. It's like basic. That's when they still drew out all the animation by hand.
Well, I think they didn't do it. I think they did it in Korea still, though. It was not. That wasn't like a high budget one. There were probably 5-year-olds drawing for them.
All right. Before we go to the insane asylum, I got one question because I've been writing down the KMA. I got somebody complained because their questions weren't able to be asked.
Can I guess who?
No, I don't remember who it was. But they said the show would have been better if they could ask Steve Saka questions. Of course, I was slurring down Bloody Marys. I wasn't paying attention to anything on the screen. So
Brian, that was Brian's job. Come on.
Brian was in a different room, so how could he communicate? So yeah. But I did see one. So Klaas, I'm going to ask you this question, right? You walk into a store, you need a cigar. They don't carry Davidoff. What do you smoke?
I enjoy everything. You can't limit yourselves, but normally what I do is something that I've learned from just visiting so many retail stores. I look at the stash of empty boxes in the corner, and I try to see what sells the most in a particular store, and then it gives me a good idea by looking at the humidor and then looking at the stash of empty boxes on the corner before they throw them out of what's been selling. So I like to go that route. So normally I ask the retailer to, what's the cigar you enjoy the most? What's the cigar that you sell the most? And then I go for that cigar. So I don't have a specific one. I always branch out to new cigars.
You're good. You're good, Clyde. You're good.
Yeah.
Good.
Very diplomatic of you.
There will be no demotions next week.
No, but you always have to stay open-minded, and you always have to try what's new.
Oh, I wanted an answer. I was looking for a brand. I don't have one. All right. See, just to show you that I could throw a curveball right back.
Okay.
What's the last non-Davidoff cigar you smoked?
It was 3 days ago. Personal stash of Hiroshi Hirobaina, Cuban.
Oh.
Yeah, so he
still gets away with it.
Yep.
This guy's good.
So
this guy's good.
I was at an event in Brazil with him, a great event with our distributors there. We just opened up that market again, and he was there. We were the 2 guests of honor for the event, and I got to spend a lot of time with him, and he gave me one of those cigars, and I had been holding on for a while, and I decided to go for that one.
We've had him on KMA, right, Paul?
Yes, we have. It was before Paul's time.
It was that long ago?
Yeah.
Oh, that's when we had a good producer who actually got guests. Oh, that's right. That's right. I was able to get guests easily.
Anyway, let's see this week who belongs in a cigar insane asylum.
All right, let's see who.
Here comes the music.
It really doesn't. Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I have it. Well, hold on.
Asylum.
Of course not.
Let's start it again. Hold on. Here it goes.
Welcome to the Cigar Asylum.
Oh, they're here.
Did you know I'm utterly insane? We all go a little mad sometimes.
Where logic and reason cease to exist.
Go ahead.
All right. This week, let's see. This week's inductee has taken his desire to be famous, social media star, to the extreme. He liked it so much, he decided that this was his chance to become TikTok famous. Kevin Wise decided to jump into a fish tank in front of customers and take a leisurely swim across to the other side. What kind of fish tank is this that he's taking a swim in?
It's a big, giant fish tank.
A customer standing by caught the footage of Wise swimming through the aquarium in the middle of a retail location. The guy was shouting and celebrating that he was doing something that everyone always wanted to do. He jumped out of the tank, leaving his mask and hat behind, ran through the store and out the door. His shoes were squeaking with every step. The video of Wise has since garnered 269,000 views. Just before his dive, Wise posted a video to his TikTok account in which he told followers of his intent to go swimming in the tank, urging his audience to help him go viral. Wise has since posted several videos related to the Bass Pro Shop swimming incident, including one of him claiming to have lost his job because of the prank.
He was also arrested.
This is it? This is the guy's insane asylum? He swam into a tank and... Yeah, this is why we got to get this stuff before 9:30 a.m.
That's
on
a
Friday.
funny one.
Did a guy... This is an insane asylum. Did the guy... You're so lucky we don't do this show in person anymore. I was waiting for the punchline. I thought maybe there were piranhas in there or whatever. The guy took a fishing tank. Big deal.
Big groupers. You guys see the video. It's huge.
Get out of here.
Weak sauce.
Do you know how hard it is to find a non-COVID related funny story that's relevant that happened within the last week? Because I don't like to take old ones.
We'll just ask Brian to do it next week. He's
That would be awesome.
All right, who do we got on next week?
Next week is Risty from JSK Cigars.
Is he gonna hack the internet again?
Absolutely.
Risty of JSK Cigars, the most watched interview guest on any social media platform in America.
Absolutely. We'll have a lot of fun. See what he's doing up in Illinois and see if he's having a good time. Coop,
I like him coming on. He's an exciting guy, an interesting guy to talk to.
I have a question for him next week, actually.
What's the question?
Why did he stop sending Aaron Loomis press releases?
Oh, okay. Well,
I have that question for him, yeah.
Oh, okay. Must be something afoot.
Yeah, we're going to find that out.
I like it. Coop, look, investigate.
No teasers. I want to ask the question. Yep.
There we go.
Yep.
Klaas, thanks for coming on. We appreciate your time on a Saturday morning to come on KMA Talk Radio. It was awesome hearing the history and the stories and the great work you're doing over there. So keep it up, my friend.
Thank you so much, Abe. It's a pleasure. Whenever we can start hanging out again.
Yes, we'll have a cigar. We'll have a Davidoff 702 together.
Yep, and hopefully also in the Dominican Republic. Come visit us in the farms. We're updating so much things due to the situation and everything. So it's just, I'm sure it's a different and also great experience next time you come down.
Yeah, absolutely. Klaas, thank you for being here. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. We hope to see you again soon. Coop, thank you as always. We will definitely talk to you next week. Yep. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, keep it lit.